Ants are all insects belonging to the Formicidae family, the order Hymenoptera. Ants have more than 12,500 species, most of which live in the tropics. Most ants are known as social insects, with colonies and regular nests of thousands of ants per colony. Colony members are divided into worker ants, male ants, and queen ants. It is also possible that there are groups of guard ants. One colony can control a large area to support their lives. Ant colonies are sometimes called superorganisms, because of the colonies they form as a unit. Despite their relatively small body size, ants are among the strongest animals in the world. Male ants are able to support a load weighing 50 times their own body weight, comparable to an elephant which is only able to support a load weighing twice its own body weight. The ants are only rivaled by the rhinoceros beetle, which is able to support a load weighing 850 times its own weight. Formic acid is also called ant acid, because ants produce this acid as a means of self-defense. Ants have taken control of almost all parts of the land on Earth. Only in a few places, such as in Iceland, Greenland and Hawaii, they do not control the area. They are estimated to make up about 15–20% of the biomass of land animals. Several types of ants are well known to humans because they live together with humans, such as black ants, large ants, red ants, fire ants, and weaver ants. Termites are sometimes called white ants but are a completely different group of ants even though they share the same social structure. The Formicidae family is part of the order Hymenoptera, which includes bees and wasps. Ants are descended from the Vespoidea wasp generation. Phylogenetic analysis indicates that ants have evolved from Vespoid dragonflies in the Cretaceous period around 120 million to 170 million years ago. After the emergence of the angiosperm plants about 100 million years ago, they diversified ecological influences about 60 million years ago. Some from the Cretaceous period are intermediate forms of ants and wasps, and this adds to the evidence for wasp ancestry. Like other animals in the order Hymenoptera, the genetic system of ants is found in haplodiploidy. In 1966, E.O. Wilson, et al. Found ant fossils in tree sap, Sphaecomyrma freyi, from the Cretaceous period. This fossil is trapped in a tree sap in New Jersey and is more than 80 million years old. This fossil provides the clearest evidence of the relationship between modern ants and non-social wasps. Cretaceous period ants share characteristics of modern ants and wasps. During the Cretaceous period, only a few species managed to colonize the large continent of Laurasia, northern. They are also very rare with a ratio of about 1% of other types of insects. Ants became dominant after adaptive radiation at the start of the Tertiary period. Of the number of species remaining in the Cretaceous and Eocene periods, only 1 in 10 genera became extinct today. 56% of the ant genera found in fossilized sap in the Baltic region, since the early Oligocene, and about 96% of the ant genera contained in fossilized sap in the Dominican, since the early Miocene, have survived to the present day. The ant body consists of 3 parts, namely the head, mesosoma, chest, and metasoma, stomach. The morphology of ants is quite clear compared to other insects which also have antennae, metaphyleal glands, and a second abdominal part which is connected to the stalk of the ant, forming a narrow waist peduncle between the mesosoma part of the chest cavity and abdominal region, and metasoma stomach lacking abdominal segments in petioles. The petiole may be formed by 1 or 2 nodes, only the second, or the second and third abdominal segments may exist. Ant bodies, like other insects, have an exoskeleton or exoskeleton that provides protection and also serves as a place for muscles to attach, in contrast to the human skeleton and vertebrates. Insects don't have lungs, but they do have breathing holes in their thorax called spiracles for air circulation in their respiratory system. Insects also do not have a closed circulatory system. Instead, they have a long, thin tube running along their upper body called the dorsal aorta, which functions similarly to a heart. The ant's nervous system consists of a kind of muscular ventral nerve that runs the length of its body, with several ganglia and branches associated with each part of the body. At the head of the ant there are many sensory organs. Ants, like other insects, have compound eyes consisting of a smaller collection of lenses and incorporated to detect motion very well. They also have 3 ocelli at the top of their heads to detect light changes and polarization. Most ants generally have poor vision, even some of them are blind. However, some ant species, such as the Australian bulldog ants, have good eyesight. On its head there is also a pair of antennas that help the ants detect chemical stimuli. Ant antennae are also used to communicate with each other and detect pheromones released by other ants. In addition, ant antennas are also useful as a touch tool to detect everything that is in front of it. At the front of the ant head there is also a pair of jaws or mandibles used to carry food, manipulate objects, build nests, and for defense. In some species, inside the mouth there is a small sac to store food for a while before being transferred to other ants or their larvae. On the ant's chest there are 3 pairs of legs, and at the end of each leg there is a kind of small claw that helps it climb and stand on the surface. Most of the male and female queen ants have wings. However, after mating the female will shed her wings and become a wingless queen ant. Worker and soldier ants have no wings. In the metasoma abdomen of ants there are many important internal organs, including the reproductive organs. Some species of ants also have a sting which is connected to a kind of poisonous gland to paralyze prey and protect the nest. Ant species such as Formicidae have glands that produce ant acid which can be sprayed towards enemies for defense. The life of an ant starts from an egg. If the eggs have been fertilized, the ants hatched are female diploid, otherwise male haploid. Ants are holometabolism, i.e. grow through complete metamorphosis, passing through larval and pupal stages with exarate pupae before they become adults. The larval stage is a very vulnerable stage. More specifically, the ant larvae have no legs at all, and are unable to fend for themselves. The differences between queens and workers, which are both females, and between worker castes if present, are determined at feeding time while still larvae. Food is given to the larva by a process called trophallaxis, where an ant regurgitates food previously stored in a crop for communal storage. This is also the way adult ants distribute food to other adult ants. Larvae and pupae must be kept at a fairly constant temperature to ensure proper growth, so they are often transferred to the various brood chambers within the colony. A newly adult worker ant spends their first few days caring for the queen and young ants. After that it escalates to digging and other nest work, and then to foraging and defending the nest. This change of duties can occur suddenly and is called a temporary caste. One theory is that foraging carries a high risk of death, so ants only participate when they are old enough and closer to death anyway. In some ant species there are physical castes. Workers can be of different body sizes, called minor, median, and major workers. Usually the larger ants have disproportionately large heads, and correspondingly stronger jaws. Such ants are often called soldier ants because their powerful mandibles make them more effective when used in combat with other creatures, but they are still worker ants and their duties do not differ much from those of minor or median workers. In some species the median workers are absent, creating a sharp separation and clear physical distinction between the minor and major workers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe,